I believe in local beer. When I go to New Jersey, it's really cool to see Dogfish Head on tap, and it's awesome now that I can get Evo when I'm up there. But I still choose something that's been made within a 15-mile radius. Not just because it's fresher, but because I want to be a part of that philosophy of people who drink beer that is made particularly for them. When it comes to the canning movement, which we talked about last week, and we'll talk about some this week, I will always choose a can over a bottle, and I will always choose a can I've never seen over a can that I've seen before, because it's important to get the things that you want the way that you want them. I want my beer local, and whenever I get a chance, I would love to have a beer in a can. It's time for the podcast, the Toddcast.
You're listening to the Happy Hour Toddcast, presented by GoodCleanFunLife.com. Find us on iTunes by searching GCFL and subscribe today. Sick and the lame.
The sick and the lame.
Sick and the lame. All right, let's talk that. I am Todd from GoodCleanFunLife.com.
And I am Tony Rousseau, no relation. And I got no little header under me. I don't know what that's all about, but we're going to let that slide for today. Just remember me, Tony Rousseau. Spelled like it sounds backwards.
I think it's your intro reminded me of what Homer Simpson once said. I like my beer cold and my homosexuals flaming.
That's fantastic. I've started my blog. I've been worrying about it for a couple of days, but I'm getting ready, and that's what I mean. I'll steal I Believe in Harvey Dent. I don't care. I'm not too proud to beg. And the thing about we're talking about as anyone who's watching this really knows, you're running the Burley Kickstarter. Burley's got a Kickstarter. Burley Oak is a beer company in Berlin, and they've got a Kickstarter to help fund their canning facility. You'll hear me blow every now and again. I'm being attacked by fruit flies in a way that is absurd. So anyway, so Burley Oak has this plan to get this canning line, and what it's about in its essence is it's a validation. Is this what you believe in? People on Kickstarter, as we talked about last week, invest in what they believe in, not necessarily what they're going to benefit from. I have some internet friends who run a brewery someplace in Virginia called Tin Cannon Brewery, and they hit their goal yesterday, their Kickstarter goal, so that they're going to be able to expand. And what I said to them, and what I'm going to say to you, and what I'm going to say probably in my blog, is that what it's about is getting out the people who want a better beer culture. What you do when you give $10 is you're saying, I am voting for a better beer culture. It's not, I think I'm going to be able to get Burley Oak, because probably you're not. I mean, with any luck, if this is a successful campaign, many of the people who make this are not going to walk into their local bodega and get a can of Burley Oak. But what they are going to do is they're going to send a message to their local breweries and to local breweries that haven't even started yet that there is a market for people. There's a market for canned beer. There's a market for people who believe in local beer in cans, and here's $10 to prove it.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing, and it's incredible hard work that has gone into raising this money for a canning line, and in a business sense, it's really not that much money. Brian, after 3 years of business, could very easily go out and say to an investor or to a bank or to small business loan, and get the $45,000 to purchase a canning line and that sort of thing. And but that's really not what this is about. It is more Brian has had a hard time, with the ask, and it's not an ask. It's we're giving the fans what they want. Like you said, it's a commitment to better beer, but it's also a commitment to the idea that if there's something out there that you believe in, you can back it in a small portion. Yeah, you get a T-shirt or a bottle opener or something like that. You get some sort of physical reward out of it, but it's really more about standing behind something and putting your couple dollars behind something that's something real and that you believe in.
And that's the coolest thing about it. We were I do another podcast, and you'll be on it this week. It's called it's called Beer with Strangers, and sometimes my co-host is Sean Hager. I don't know, you know him, but I don't know if you know who he is. He's the big dude with the red beard.
Yeah.
And he was so over the moon excited about contributing to the Kickstarter, and he's like, yeah, I want the shirt, and yeah, I want the bottle opener, but more important, I want to be able to walk into a liquor store and get a can of beer that's been made here. And there's a local pride aspect in this that can't be ignored, and it's something that really should at least be hit upon,
Yeah, well, and absolutely. I mean, we've said it from the beginning. We're sending Burley Oak and Berlin in a can all over the East Coast. And what's amazing about that is we say that in the video, or Brian says it in the video, and yet we have donors from Chicago. We have donors from California. We have donors, people who are watching the video from, the Netherlands, like international. And it's just that whole concept of it doesn't matter. People appreciate good things and want to support good things, and people who are being authentic and trying to do right in the world. Not all doing right in the world is charity. I mean, there's a lot of really very, very quality places you should be putting your money. There's
yeah, but you see, all right. So I have two objections to make. Objection number one is I work for a charity, like my day job. So let's talk for a second about what we mean by charity. What we mean by charity is that I believe in this more than I'm going to get from it.
Right.
So in that sense, it is a charity. It's not like Save Burley Oak because they don't have the cash, but it is make a statement of your beliefs and put some dollars behind it. Don't just share it on Facebook. Don't just like it. Don't just retweet it. Do something about it. Charity, I mean, all right, so I'm not the funding guy because I say things like this, right? But charity is a put up or shut up proposition. Do you care about this? Oh, I care very much about this. Will you give money to it? Well, it's been a hard year. No, then you don't fucking care about it. That's cool. That's fair. Say, no, you know what? I don't care about it. I don't have $10. I don't have $10 to make the world a better place. Go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
That's all. So let's not kid ourselves here. This is a direct appeal. Listen. We care about our beer. Do you care about getting it?
Right.
Care about other people getting it? No is one of the answers. There are two. The answer is yes or no.
Yeah.
Yes, but I had a bad week. That's no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? $10 isn't going to break anybody.
Well, and I think what has been great for me is the realization and understanding that the Kickstarter community is only one of several, crowdfunding communities that are out there that are doing amazing things for amazing business people, and the American dream, the world dream at this point, and we are adding. So the statistics. So we're in the middle of this, and the statistics or the stats are coming in, and seeing who's donating and or pledging and where they're coming from. and a good third of the people who are contributing are not local. And these are people who just, either like the project or like this or like that. And so, that's awesome. And then I look at the other 2/3 of people who are contributing to our project because they know us or they're fans or, they like Burley Oak or they like beer. But that's 2/3 of the people. We've added a couple hundred people to this community who may donate to something else, somewhere else that they're, strucken by, that they want to support because it makes sense to them, or it appeals to them, or they like the video that that the project is doing. And so I feel like we're contributing to a community of, like not everybody can be an angel or a VC or whatever. And, the American dream is to, create a business that does well and you employ people and all of that. But so this is like, $10 at a time, you are contributing to somebody else's dream, and I think that is as good as any charitable organization. Let's not mention the fact that, Monday, Burley Oak has their guest bartenders for charity. Like every Monday during the off season, they raise money for charity, local, just like, rotating, and like all of the tips go to, this local 501c3s, and
Well, and that's the thing. Burley Oak and Kickstarter General is attitudinal. It's just how do you arrange yourself in relation to what you care about. And also, I got to say, shirts don't hurt. The shirts are pretty awesome. Can we see the shirt?
Can we see the? American made.
Yes, it's very cool. As I said, Sean was really excited about it. Is that Darth Vader on the back? It looks like an unhappy Darth Vader.
No, it's a bottle. It's a bottle or a can cap.
Oh, I see. It looks like an unhappy Sith, a little bit. No offense intended to Tony. We do that. No offense intended to Tony. It looks like an unhappy Sith.
I like the unhappy Sith.
Oh no, grumpy Sith. That's what you could do. You could start a meme like Grumpy Cat and Grumpy Sith.
Grumpy Sith. I like that. I could go places with that for sure.
Of course you could. So anyway, I guess now that all of our let's get down off the soapbox for a second.
Yeah.
Everything's going well with the campaign.
It's going very well, and it's incredibly nerve-wracking. It's like there's a lot of work that goes into it, and there's a lot of people who are who are thinking about what's going on and creating posts, and Brian, and of course you don't want to be too in people's faces, but at the same time you have to get the message out there, and you have to be continual and that sort of thing. It's hard work.
I'm sorry. Did I don't know if I ever told you this. Did I tell you that I bought my wife on the internet?
You did not.
No. I did. I bought my wife on the internet. And what's interesting about that is when you do the internet dating thing, that's what it's like. It's like you're checking.
What did she say?
She said Mrs. Russo says she is not a mail order bride. But what it reminds me of is because I did internet date for a while, and that's what it's like. It's like, you're like, all right, so how do we do today? So how do we do yesterday? So how do we do tomorrow? And you're charting it, and you're like, okay, so what am I making the right? Am I making the right posts? Am I timing my responses right? Am I responding too quickly? Am I responding not quickly enough? Same thing, except I got a wife out of it, so that was pretty cool.
Well, hopefully we get some beer out of this. Some beer that your wife will enjoy as well. So.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will, and enjoy the beer for sure.
It's fun. It's actually Brian and I. We had a moment last Sunday, and it's like, we're old now. We don't play sports. Like, this is our sport. This is like,
right.
And everybody in the brewery and and that sort of thing, they're stepping out of their comfort zone with this, and I think that's important to kind of shine a light on. It's not just like, oh, we're marketing geniuses and we're going to do this and take advantage of it. Like, no, it's like this is hard for people to get their heads wrapped around and to be able to understand what's all of the moving parts of it, because it's a lot. It's a good, like I said, it would be much easier just to go out and ask somebody to stroke a check for $45,000. But I think at the end of the day, the fans, the people who like Burley Oak, the people who really enjoy craft beer, appreciate what we're doing and being able to be part of it. So we're giving the people what they want.
We're giving the people at least a chance to prove what they want.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way.
Yeah. Put up or shut up. That's what I'm all about. That's why they don't let me anywhere near the donors. I'm like, you don't want to pay, then don't pay, because then you don't care about this. Then I'll just do it myself. Yeah, they don't let me near anybody, and who can blame them? So we have nearly October on our hands. September is nearly over. This is like the 18th, 19th, 16th, something, 16th, I think. So you've had a busy week at GCFL, and you're going to have a couple busy more, but now it's a weekend kind of gig, right?
Right. So it's interesting because we're making the adjustment, and as far as events and what is going on, it's making that shift from just like a steady flow of things to it's really almost the same amount of great events, but they're all condensed to the weekends.
Yeah.
So it makes it makes it a little difficult. This past weekend we had Bike Week. We were doing stuff for Jack Daniels, which was great. The weather was questionable, but we did all right with that. And then like next week is not only is it Fiddler's Convention, but it's also there's the Dewey Beach Music Festival, and there's a couple other things that are going up there. There's some great bands that are it's everything is like Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. It's like white guy problems, right?
Yeah, right. Speaking of which, what's the word on the Fiddler's Convention? I've been out of it now for 2 years, and this looks like it's going to be the third year I've missed it. So, have there been any changes? Is this the 23rd? What is this?
It's no, it's this weekend. What is that?
No, I'm sorry, the 23rd year.
Oh, yes.
The 20th.
Yes. And Nate Clendenin, who has been a big, very much involved in it and knows all of the artists and is definitely into the fiddling and the bluegrass and that sort of thing. He's actually been in charge of coordinating some of the acts. So Friday night is always a great night.
Oh wait! That's scandalous. Is this the first year he's doing that?
This is the first year he's doing it.
What happened to our friends at Victorian Charm? Are we willing to talk about that, or are we not ready to talk about that?
I don't know how scandalous it is, but
it's really freaking scandalous. It was Steve Freeney's idea, and then they put him down in front of the Taylor House a couple of years ago, and now Nate Clendenin's doing it. Not that he's not qualified, because he totally is. But come on.
Well,
what happened?
There was a. I don't know. I don't think.
Another beer and tell me what happened, you big liar.
There was some backroom dealings. It was very much like Wise Guys type esque. Upstairs at the Globe, everybody sat down. It was like a low let room. They were smoking, and at the end of the day, Nate Clendenin comes out, and he's in charge of the.
That is crazy, and there's a horse head in Steve Freeney's bed. Well, just because I want to tell the story, no other reason. Frank Nana, you know Frank Nana?
Yes.
Okay, so the Fiddler's Convention, according to Frank Nana, was Frank Nana's idea. and Steve Freeney was the sales guy on it, and he did, he got all the radio support, and so then he got kind of like all of the fiddlers cred, and that kind of always bothered Frank because Frank didn't like he didn't like having 5,000 people in town. He wanted he was like the bluegrass hipster. He's like, oh no, now people are coming. It sucks now, But he did the hosting, but he always begrudged Steve a little bit for being like the Berlin bluegrass guy when it totally wasn't him, according to Frank, when it was totally Frank. So it's interesting to see a coup and to see, I guess, the hipsters strike back at the ad men. I guess.
Yeah, right. While those two are arguing it out, us young bucks are just going to come in and take care of business. It's funny because my perception has always been that it was Stephen Barrett's father who was coming back from dropping him off at college at some college in, oh crap, I should know this, but some college in Virginia, and came across a fiddlers convention and said, this is what would be great in Berlin. So it was actually a Barrett who started the concept and idea.
All right, so let me tell you a little story.
From the journalist.
Before too long, sometime on the news, something is going to be utterly wrong or utterly right. And you're going to say, how come nobody knew that? Or how come they don't know that? And the thing is that when you are a reporter, everyone tells you that this is the real story and all the other stories are false. I've probably heard 15 to 20 stories about the real reason that Berlin does the Fiddlers Convention, and they are all wonderful. I do like the Barrett story very much. That's what one of the thing that I heard was that Barrett said, he's like, okay, now because he was the mayor at the time or he was on the council at the time, and he's like, we need to make this happen. And yeah, everyone is always, once something's successful, I mean, very few people are taking credit for the
pig races that got voted out of town.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's taking credit for the pumpkin chunkin anymore now that it's in Dover. Yeah. But yes, I love all of those stories. All of them are true. Touch on all of them when you tell. Yeah, well, some folks around here say that the Barretts started it, and some folks say that the Nanas started it. Yeah. Absolutely. All of them started it. All of them are geniuses. All of them should have a statue erected to their memory in the town square.
Well, let's make one thing clear. Natalie is going to be the president-elect of the Berlin Chamber. So, I
think you mean she must already be.
Yeah.
Because you can't campaign to be the president-elect.
Right.
You're not going to be.
To be president for next year, but
I saw that on the internet. Congratulations! Is she there?
Yeah.
No, congratulations! I saw that. Congratulations, Ms. President.
She's cooking, but it's one of those things like I don't care who started it, I'm into it.
As long as it keeps going. And you know what? I personally, I'm against the Frank. I mean, when I would talk to Frank about it, when I talked the one time, because that's one of those phone calls when you make and you get an angry guy on the phone and you're like, okay, well, I'll never be talking to you about this again, right? And I'm like, what I actually said to him, I'm like, yeah, but isn't it awesome that all these people come and we get better and better acts? And he's like, yeah, but it used to be we were just 4 guys in the shed. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't get to go and have beer in the shed. Now we have a whole street. Right. And there's great music for 4 days. I mean, you get the personal appearance of Steve Freeney's band on Sunday morning. They still do that, right?
Yeah.
It's wonderful, wonderful event.
They wrote the song that makes all of Berlin sing.
Oh, all right, yes. What song is that? I thought they did the Gospel Hour or something on Sundays.
Yeah, the Gospel Hour is actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's across the street from your house. They still do it at the Taylor House, right?
Yeah. No, that is impressive and fun for sure.
Okay, changing gears.
Yes.
Just completely changing gears. Did you get out to any of the Macbeths this week?
We did. I took my daughter up to see it up the Brown Box Theater. Performed right here in town. It was a beautiful, like, full moon night, and it was impressive and awesome. And I needed a translator because I love the idea of Shakespeare.
Uh-huh.
And then I got jealous of the guy who was sitting in front of me who had an iPod with, like, the script in front of him.
Actually,
that's a genius idea, right? To be able to follow along. Like, I felt like I was at a baseball game. All of a sudden, this guy's keeping stats.
Well, a geniuser idea is also to just embrace it. Macbeth happens to be one of my favorite plays of all time. Unfortunately, the Jets were so pathetic on Sunday that I got too drunk to go to the Salisbury show. So that's my bad. But Kyler Toston, who runs Brown Box, has been on the show. He actually was on when Zach pinch hit for you at the bonfire.
Yes.
That was back in the day. You're like, hey, let's do a show at the bonfire. Oh, I'm not coming.
Yeah.
So we had Tyler on, and I was out there, and they have a farm in West Ocean City that they rehearse on. They're an excellent group, and I don't think they get enough attention or credit. As much attention and credit as they get, it's not enough because, I mean, the reason I'm sorry. So first of all, I convinced my wife to go to Macbeth with me before the Jets did what they did, and I was too drunk to leave the house. And my argument to her was, you can't complain about not having access to this kind of stuff and then not go.
Right.
And then I didn't go.
Well, I convinced Nellie that we were going to go up in the town and we were going to watch. We stayed for nearly the duration. And it was
spoilers. He gets killed in the end by Macduff because she was not born of woman. She was not a woman born. He was not a woman born.
It's a great story. It really, I mean, it's pretty compelling and dark, and right up the alley of my 13-year-old daughter.
And I mean, did you catch all of the things that you say every day that are from that?
Well, I remember that actually from Romeo and Juliet. I never realized how many, like, just common phrases come from that play or writing. I mean, it's kind of incredible.
Yes. So anyway, I love Shakespeare. I love Brown Box Theater. God bless them all.
Yeah, no, they definitely deserve more credit. They get a lot of credit. They definitely need more attention. I mean, for what they're doing and how well they're doing it, and the style, and just kind of like the pop-up, way that they do it, I think is great.
It really is. And so now let's go back in time because we had Bike Week come up this week, and I have to say, especially because I don't work down there anymore, I had to go somewhere on Thursday, I think it was. Last Thursday, I was in the car, and I looked to my left, I looked to my right, and I said, I swear to God, out loud in the car, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's right, it's Bike Week.
Well, yeah, we did Bike Week, and we're some of the fortunate ones because we have a Jack Daniel's sponsorship, so it's an amazing thing, I guess. People descend. Actually, somebody said something great to me. We were out at Oasis, and we were hitting a couple spots. And of all of the events that happen in and around this area, the guy from the Horsey Foundation made a great comment. He goes, "You know what? Bikers, they have dollars in their pockets. Not money, not credit cards. They have dollars in their pockets. And when they come, they spend them. You know, they give the charitable organizations like the Horsey Foundation, which was out at Oasis. They give to the bars and restaurants. They tip. You know, like all of our friends in the service industry appreciate the bikers for what they do. That said, getting around town is impossible. I mean, friends in the service industry can't get a cab, south of Wacomico Street because there's no cabs running down there. It's a dicey thing, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you know what? I don't mean this. I don't mean it. I like Bike Week. First of all, I like Bike Week in a residual kind of way because Bike Week makes all of the old people in Ocean Pines wish they were dead, and I also wish they were dead. So that's a twofer. That's an easy one for me. I like Bike Week just because anything that makes someone else more miserable is okay in my book. But the second thing is that they really do. They make an effort to like. It's funny. They make an effort to dispel this notion of bike. No one has had this notion of bikers since the 1930s. I mean,
Right.
Everyone thinks of bikers now as dentists with disposable income.
Right.
No one's been afraid of a biker since Peter Fonda, So, but still, they're working to dispel the myth. I'm a dentist, and I'm going to dispel the biker myth, and I'm going to go down, I'm going to fix teeth, and I'm going to stay in a nice hotel, and I'm going to tip generously. And you know what? God bless you. Enjoy it. Enjoy your Harley. Enjoy your Indian. Enjoy your cred. Have a street fight. Feel like a 1950s guy. God bless you all. I love the bikers.
Well, it's funny. For the first time, since I've been down here, I got pulled over on the Route 90 for not having my lights on.
Wow.
I'm like, we probably looked pretty intimidating in our silver Kia.
Yeah.
Driving without lights on.
Were your lights really off, or were they just pulling you over because they thought you were drunk?
No. So here's this literally happened. We get on 90. Natalie says, because we're coming from Oasis, so we're like at the far end of no man's land of 90. And Natalie's like, make sure you have your lights on. I look down, I'm like, oh, we're good. We're on auto, which is not good during I guess, during the day, it's not daytime running. It's not quite the same thing. So, yeah, I got pulled over for not having my lights on 90. And
Okay, this has always been a problem for me, and I've probably told this story 1,000 times on this podcast, but I'm going to tell it 1,001. My biggest beef between living in New Jersey and living on the Eastern Shore is this. You get pulled over in New Jersey, I swear to God. If you get pulled over, I'm from Union Beach. If I get pulled over in Matawan, Hazlet, Keyport, if I get pulled over within 10 miles of my hometown, they look at my license, they look at the town, they're like, okay, take it easy, and they send you on your way.
Right.
Here, I feel like when they see Del Mar, they should say, oh, whoops, you're not a tourist. Sorry, we're just here to hassle tourists for money. Have a nice day. I mean, because that's just the way it is. You're not drunk. You're not a tourist.
Right.
We don't want your money. That's the attitude that they have that I miss about New Jersey. Because here, they want your money and they don't care who you are, and it bothers me sometimes. Or maybe it's just because I'm a jerk and have this accent, and they're like, yeah, sure, you're from Del Mar. You don't sound like you're from Del Mar. What's your daddy's name, son?
What's your daddy's name? Well, and I feel, I get upset over the whole protect and serve.
Yeah.
They're not doing either when they're just, building revenue.
Yeah. And again, did you get a ticket?
I did.
A money ticket?
$60 for not having my lights on.
Christ, that's a goddamn travesty.
Yeah.
Goddamn, do you know what? It must have been the end of the month or the beginning of the month or something. I mean, I've never gotten a ticket. I've been pulled over for lights, but I've never gotten a ticket on 90. Wow, that's a jerk.
Well, and apparently I was going 64.
In a what?
It's funny because I drive slow. I'm not a fast driver.
Man. Well, and this is the other thing. As long as we're going to kick the cops because they don't care if we kick them, and they're not going to change their behavior. The other thing that's really irritating about it when they pull you over and ticket you, you're like, all right. So my brother is what's called a special. All right, he's not finished with the academy yet.
Right.
So he's not allowed to give tickets. But he's allowed to pull people over. So if he pulls you over and you're drunk, he calls you a cop. Or I think he can arrest you if you're drunk. But if he pulls you over for speeding, he can't give you a ticket. And so now when I don't get a ticket, I just assume that the cop wasn't allowed to give me a ticket. I don't think he was giving me a break. I just feel like he was one of those guys that doesn't have the ticket writing power yet. So yeah, my brother, for instance, can shoot you, but not ticket you.
Well, what I think is amazing is the woman who pulled me over. Everything I do, in every walk of life, is to identify with another person, meet on some common ground, and and discuss. Like, I don't care if she gave me a $400 ticket for driving 60 miles an hour on Route 90. Or for not having my lights on. But when I'm like, when I have my hands on the wheel, because I've seen, enough cop shows, and
you're not black, you don't have to follow those rules.
Wait, I think I am black though.
Oh, but you don't appear black enough. That's your problem.
But there's no how you doing? There's no just like, hey, we want you to be safe out there. Did you know that this is Berlin? And I'm like, well, yeah. Look at my license. It says I'm from Berlin. We never crossed this side of the road. So I mean, it's just like, give me what you're gonna give me, but let's talk about it.
Right.
I want to shake your hand when you leave. Thank you for doing a good job. Like, I want to thank you. I
want to feel safer, not like I've been pickpocketed by a guy with a gun I can't call the police on.
Right.
Or by a woman with a gun I can't call the police on. Right. What's funny, though, is I think maybe a major difference between you and I is I lead with that story. There's no, I wonder what story. I know what story I want to tell. I don't have a story. No, you had a story.
Yeah. Well, so that was Bike Week on Delmarva.
How exciting! Were you riding a motorcycle, a trike, a Kia trike? Were you on your Kia trike?
We're driving a Kia with, like camera equipment in the back.
Oh, the humanity! Yep. Also, I have a book coming out. We're out of time, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But with any luck, this time next week, I could debut my cover, which you've seen and which is awesome.
Hey, it is pretty cool.
It's so cool.
I have already started referring to you as my friend Tony, who has written the book on brewing on the Eastern Shore.
I am the guy. I was talking to the guy who runs Pemberton Park today.
Oh, nice.
And he was asking me all sorts of questions, and I'm like, yeah, this, I'm an expert. And after a while, I was walking out of this meeting, and I said to myself, because this is how I am, right? I'm like, what if you're wrong? You're the only one who's done this research. If someone ever says, hey, you're not right, it's weird to be the expert. I know stuff that other people don't know. Right. And I thought lots of people knew it, but lots of people don't know it.
Yeah, right. No, I think that's what it takes is if you just say it with enough conviction and then put it in print, it doesn't matter if it's true or not.
I know, but I'm so terrified of being a fraud because I didn't say anything that I didn't think was true. And I have lots of evidence to back up what I said, but I'm like, what if someone had one more piece of evidence that totally validated everything I've ever done?
Right.
I would be crushed. I would be like, no, but because no one would ever believe that I wasn't a liar.
Yeah, but you know what? That guy who did that still ended up on Oprah.
That's a good point. So if anybody says, "Hey, I have evidence refuting everything you said about brewing," I'll be like, "All right, take it up with Oprah. Let's go."
Right. She's the bastion of
Yes.
plagiarism in the United States.
Well, no, I know I didn't plagiarize.
Sorry.
But I think all of my facts are true. But what's weird is that I'm getting to the point now where my facts are becoming true. Like, I'm the only one who's doing this.
Right.
And I'm the only one who's saying these things. And no one else really cares very much one way or the other.
Yeah.
So I say things, and people are like, "Oh, that's a fact? Okay, I'm going to share that fact." And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess. Go ahead, share it. It's true. I hope it's true. It feels true."
No, that's where the whole thing about the guy who wrote the book on brewing on the Eastern Shore is Tony Russo.
That's me. That's it. The buck stops here. Holy Christ, how terrifying is that?
It's great.
I guess I won't be asked to write a book about police behaviors on the Eastern Shore.
Hopefully not.
All right. So make sure you tune into my other podcast on Thursday to see Todd, because this was just not enough fun, I guess. So Todd will be our next guest on the Beer with Strangers podcast. I'll be live from Laurel, and Todd will presumably be live from Berlin.
Presumably.
And we'll be talking about the Kickstarter and beer culture and all sorts of fun stuff. So make sure you tune into that. If you want an invite, just tag us and we'll invite you. If you don't get invited, show up. It's 5 p.m. Thursdays. What else we got coming up this week? Anything?
Fiddler's Convention, parties in Dewey Beach, great music all around town. Everything is on the weekend. So pay attention to the weekends.
And I may go to Third Friday in Salisbury this weekend. I'm the new Salisbury leisure reporter. I don't know if you noticed that.
Leisure.
I've been writing for the Metropolitan Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave me a column now, and it's called the Downtown Lowdown, and I'm going to do a story a month.
Tony writing the Downtown Lowdown is I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. So
no, I would like to tell you the story of the Downtown Lowdown.
Yeah, that would be
I named the Downtown Lowdown, but I named it ironically. They're like, "Hey, we want you to do a column. Send me a name and a couple of story ideas." So I sent some story ideas, and I'm like, I can't think of a name. I said the only thing I could come up with is the Downtown Lowdown, but that is clearly disgusting. That's clearly deplorable. And I got an email back, and they're like, "Oh no, we love it." And I'm like, oh, I can't get that one back now. They already got graphics guys working on Downtown Lowdown, and now that's what I do. I'm Downtown Lowdown, man.
We might be up there. Actually, we're doing stuff for Jack Daniels in Salisbury on Friday, so maybe we'll see you at the at Tony Weig's skate deck art show.
Yeah, and that's at his store, at his place, which he just opened. How did I miss that?
I don't know.
Did he just open it?
No, it's been a couple months.
No. You should have said something. Yeah, I don't go downtown very much, but now I'm going to be going downtown at least once a week. I'll take some pictures.
And get the lowdown.
And get the lowdown for the Downtown Lowdown. Tony Russo, Downtown Lowdown. I feel like I should get a hat.
Yeah, a hat and like glasses. You gotta rip off the glasses like Downtown Lowdown.
Give me the lowdown. I'm Tony Russo. What's the lowdown? Oh no, I guess to be I'm Tony Russo. Here's the lowdown. Oh wait, I have glasses. One more time.
There it is.
I'm Tony Russo, and here's the lowdown. All right, brilliant, guys. But other than that, I got nothing else. How about you?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, may Todd give you the sense to live in a small town.
We'll see you next week at Happy Hour.
Cheers.
Let's do this.
For more, go to goodcleanfunlife.com for podcasts, event calendars, articles, and more. Call or text us at 703-828-GCFL.